Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I am your host, Lenny Reed, and this is the Lenny Reed Pod, episode 171, American Werewolf. Okay, I'm gonna break that down. Before I enter that realm, I'd like to thank everybody that's listening on YouTube. The channel is LR Pod Live. New channel, I had to change the name, but LR Pod Live. If you're watching this, and then if you're listening to this on a podcast on all DSPs, thank you. I appreciate it. There are a billion podcasts out there, and I've been rocking for 3 years, rocking and rolling. I'm not going nowhere unless I get pulled somewhere else, and that's in the ground, baby. That's in the ground. So let's get to what we got to talk about. Oh. Like I always say before I start the podcast, I'm slipping. As y'all know, y'all can hear it. I got sort of like congestion and all this stuff in here, but only thing that I hate when it comes to colds is a sore throat. I don't know about y'all, but if I had a sore throat every day for like the rest of my life, I don't think I could be able to take that. But I'm doing good, just a little congestion. This is the sort of like the end part of it. So I'm rocking out with y'all. Anyway, if you would like to support this podcast, and I'm going to say that every time. That's just what I do, okay? I am independent. Not backed by any company. Go to the website, IamLennyReed.com, and you can get everything there, the merch and everything. You can also tap into our Patreon page, and that is currently building up right there. So that's going to be dope as I do interviews off source. Out of my lovely bat cave here, I step out into the streets and I have fun. So y'all probably want to check out my Patreon page, LR Pod. Also, hold up, man. Hold up. Where's the applause at? I want to give a shout out to the city of New Orleans. Okay. I had a couple friends that kept trying to get me, not get me there, but something came out and I wanted to go there. I wanted to go on a ghost tour. I want to go a couple of things. They kept saying, yo, check out Bourbon Street. And I said, I'm not on that kind of energy right now. And, I was about to pull out of the whole thing. And, I just had one guy that kept telling me, yo, man, you got to go. You have to get that experience of not Mardi Gras, but this was the weekend after Mardi Gras. And I got to say, man, New Orleans, that whole area, Bourbon Street, Canal Street, was lit, man. It was lit. You hear me? Even though I seen throw up all over the place and I was reluctant to step in the puddle, so most of the times I'm walking, I'm looking down. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to track nothing back to your room. And the smell was kind of weird, but the more you drink, the smell go away. You understand that? The more you drink, the smell go away. So it was dope. So I want to give a huge shout out to the whole, I don't think I'm built for Mardi Gras itself, because even the weekend after, it was a lot of people, a little bit too much for me. But I can't even imagine what Mardi Gras, that whole experience is. So, but overall, it was dope. I plan on, going back next year, doing a couple more tours. I want to do the swamp tours, a couple other tours that I want to do. I actually went to what was that place called? It was a plantation. It's called something Alley. Anyway, this plantation was kind of eerie. It just made you, it put you in a place of how the slaves and stuff were back in those days. The small quarters, the large field, just that whole ambiance. It was a little bit off. And it was crazy because we had a tour guide that took us there, and he went around the back. And it was a sign that said, stop. You have to pay before you enter this area. And I looked at that sign and said, I'm not paying to get in here. We built this shit. Okay, that was a little sidebar. So it was a dope experience. And I'm definitely going to head back next year. I think as people find the chaos with Mardi Gras, they probably start going the weekend after. So I guarantee you the weekend after Mardi Gras is going to be the new thing, the big thing. So check that out, I guarantee you. Okay. Other than that, man, it's been a dope weekend. Dope trip. Like I said, it was dope. Okay, so this show, I want to talk about American Werewolf. Now, this is not a scary show. This is not, you know, a horror or any kind of that genre kind of show. This show is basically how you portray yourself, how you move in this light, okay? How you move when you rocking, how you move when you getting money, how you move when different kind of people around you. If people mess with you, if they know you a dope person, you know what I'm saying? People will gravitate around you. Sort of like the sun. If you are the sun, you will have planets going around you, orbiting around you, okay? Naturally. It's not forced. You're not telling people to come hang out with you. It's just a natural orbit. And that's what I'm getting into when I'm talking about American Werewolf. Okay, so I'm starting off with, why do I still hear that song? Oh, it's playing. I'm sorry, guys, it's playing. Y'all probably still heard that. But anyway, it's basically setting it up like this. I feel that there's an attack on being masculine. What is masculine? Confidence. Not taking shit from nobody. And maybe it's treating people a certain way, treating people a different way. And, you know, a lot of people don't want to be treated like that, but I'm starting to see that there is a problem with being masculine. Now, when I say that, it's mainly what is the problem? Well, you're starting to see a lot of stuff on the news. A lot of stuff in programming, cancel culture, I might say. You're starting to see a lot of things that sort of go back towards the whole masculine thing. So I came up with a term, how to move out here, how to establish yourself as an individual that nobody can fuck with, as an individual that nobody can basically go against, but you are a dope person that people want to get around or be around. So I came up with this term, and also I came up with 5 little implications or 5 little directions that if you feel me on this level, this is mainly for guys, but hey, if there's any girls out there that's feeling like this, you're a part of this also. So I like to break these 5, I call them series, because it's a series of a person. And if you got these 5 traits, you are basically a bad motherfucker. Okay? I know I'm cursing a lot, but that's just the kind of time I'm on. So I think the first one is, and this one, you don't have to be this one to consider yourself an American werewolf. And another thing, I say I'm an American werewolf because I'm from America. Okay? It's the way I move. And the reason I say werewolf, because we already know how wolves get down, right? You have the alpha and you have the pack, right? You have the way they hunt. They're not scared of shit. You think they like the size of a normal dog until you see them in a while, and you're like, holy crap, what was that? All they have to do is stand up. Actually, in a couple, what was that, Twilight, right? Twilight had it so they didn't stand up and run it. They was just regular dogs. They was just big-ass dogs. Now, there's a YouTube video out. It was a dog barking at something in the woods, and the dog kept barking. And this big black thing just stood up. I swear to you, it was about 4 times the size of that dog. That was a wolf. It was a big-ass black wolf. Now, that term werewolf, you take that wolf that you got in a while, and you put that shit into some kind of human form. So you are a beast, but you have human characteristics, right? You're nice, you funny, you witty, attractive, right? People want to orbit around you, just like the sun. But you also have that you are, beat the brakes off somebody. But not only that, you keep it home, you keep it honed in, right? You keep it sort of locked in. So you always have the trigger that somebody can just pull. And when they let that trigger go, the beast come out. But the best part of it, you know how to control it. So like I said, the first one is you don't have to be, you don't have to have these characteristics, thread by thread. But I think if you have all 5 of these characteristics, I will consider you a werewolf. Now, like I said, the term werewolf is just a set term because I think that's a badass symbol. I can't think of nothing else, right? Like a honey bear or some shit like that. I can't, that's not hitting. That shit American Werewolf, that shit hit. All right, so the first one I would say is somewhat of a perfectionist. And when I say a perfectionist, what does that mean? What does that, interpret of perfectionist? Okay, so put it like this. Everything has to be in order. Everything. Your day, if from the time you get up, everything is in order. Even though from the person looking outside in, it's chaos. But in your head, everything is in order. Your trip, if you're going on a trip, you got everything packed up. Everything goes, everything from the trip, from getting there, from a place, from the airport to the location. Once you get in the location, you got stuff set up. You got to go to the store because you got to get all this stuff. Everything is set to perfection. Even your life. Now, your life, like I said, it might look chaotic to somebody looking out, that's looking in, but it's in order. It's like a chaotic order, right? So you have, your parents that you check up on, you take care of when you can. You got your girlfriend or your wife, whatever situation. Some of y'all cats, you got both. And everything from your job to the way you spend your money, everything is sort of calculated. It goes through like a mill, right? Like some kind of mill. If I'm saying that right, like some kind of conveyor belt. Everything is in line. Everything is in order. And that characteristic or that trait can somehow be in the list of a serial killer characteristic. So I would say, just like a serial killer hunts his victim and makes sure everything is right down to the T to get their victims, you doing it in a different way. You doing it in the making your life better, trying to get more money while focusing on your job, while focusing on family, while getting your proper exercise in, you consider yourself a deadly individual. So you work on different techniques to implicate that if you have to. So a perfectionist I say it's at the top because a lot of people probably won't lean towards that. But if you do consider yourself a perfectionist, or people around you consider yourself a perfectionist, that is a very strong trait to have if you consider yourself a werewolf. Because at the end of the day, that comes into effect if, just say, the double back effect. Just say you having an argument with a person and it can really go left, or this person already took it left. You be the bigger person and say, yo, everything good, peace, peace, all love, blah, blah, blah. But in your head, you already know that you going to double back on this person. I'm not saying in violence, but I'm just saying if you had to pull a trigger on that kind of incident, you could. And you able to make things look calm on the surface while everybody else is looking on. So when something goes down, you are not implicated in that. I'm talking too much. I'm talking too much. I'm talking too much. Okay, anyway, let's move it on. Like I said, a perfectionist. You know this, and if that's not the trait that you have, it's cool. It's a couple more to go. So all you need out of these 5, all you probably need is 3 or 4. If you got all 5, you are badass, and watch out. So I'm gonna go to the next one. You have your own morals. And when I say that, you have your own morals, you go by a guideline. Whether it's friendship with other people, the way you live your life, the way you control your life, the way you control people from infiltrating your life, right? So you got your own morals. You don't need to go off the backing of religion. If you do, it's probably just something to help out or something to, like a mask to put on. I don't know. So you throw that out there, but you got your own stance. And now this might sound crazy, so I'm gonna throw this out there for anybody that probably understand me. And out of all the people listening, I know probably a handful of people understand me. I think if you talk to yourself in a way, it helps you in your life. It keeps you out of trouble. It keeps you on the straight and narrow. And actually, other people will consider you lucky because you actually have counsel that you are talking to, but it's in your head. Let me break it down some. So, if there's a situation that happened and you want to go left, like a serious left, somebody going to get hurt, left. There's something in your head that breaks down the consequences on your actions. Seriously breaks down the consequences. But it happens instantaneously. So you're able to control it just off whatever happened in your head because of that situation. It keeps you out of trouble. Even people call it that gut feeling, but something ain't right and you just don't know. Whatever this voice is, whatever this thing is, it tells you the right thing to do. And majority of the time, when you go that route, it comes out to be right. Now, flip that over to a person that doesn't have that. You get shoot somebody in broad daylight, not understanding the consequences. Like, my G, you on camera, or some dumb person robs a bank or robs a store that has cameras in it and witnesses, and they don't have nothing on their face. It's like you doing all this stuff, but you don't care about the consequences. You probably care about it afterwards when you're scared and you're waiting for detectives to come to your house or whatever. But I think if you had, I call it the shadow. The shadow is way bigger than you. All right? So the shadow tells you when, all right, turn up on this motherfucker. The shadow tells you, hey, go get her number. She a winner. The shadow tells you all that. And I know I done lost a whole bunch of people, but the real ones know what I'm talking about. And I think this is strong with far as werewolf talk, because this shit controls everything from finances to jobs and careers to being an entrepreneur to just being a badass person, just being off the cuff, witty, funny. All right? So sometimes you might be talking to somebody and you having a conversation and you want to say something funny, but you run that through your head real quick and it probably seems suspect, right? I shouldn't say that. Some people just say shit. They don't have that processing ability and they just blurt out something and everybody's like, what? You know? And unfortunately, a lot of people do that online now. So if you don't have your own morals, you know, it's a lot of bullshit with that. And if you have no morals, no religious morals, you just rocking out. I feel sorry for you. You got to have something to rock on. Okay? I also have my 10 commandments. I would never let those commandments out. I would never mention those commandments. But I would tell you this. They up there with the Bible's 10 commandments. I think they're better. And, I don't know. Maybe I'll put them out. And I think if people knew my 10 commandments, I think their life would be way better. But me ever telling them? No, I won't tell nobody. As far as now, I don't see that in my future. Okay, so that's that. Now, another one is this. And this is the one I love. This is the one I love right here. A sense of presence. Are you the person that like to come into an establishment last, a party or an event? You like to show up last just to glide your way through everybody watching you? Are you the person that like to show up early to get you a seat, to make sure the food ain't gone? Me personally, I like to get there early. I never like to get nowhere late, but understand if you like the sense of presence and you like to get there late. Now, the sense of presence is when you walk in a room, all the eyes is on you. A general conversation, you are the leader of that general conversation, right? You more like the head of the show, right? Oh, Autolin stuff. Real ones will know what this Autolin is, but anyway, and some people might call this arrogance, and I think arrogance is a compliment, because if I'm talking about myself to the form of in a good direction, and I'm not down on myself, I'm not sad, I don't want to commit suicide, but if I'm talking myself and I am lifting myself up, most people are cool with that until you start lifting yourself up off the ground. Now that's supernatural. Now that's, look at this cocky fucker, right? I think in that form, you spark something to the point that these people don't like the fact that your arrogance sparked their insecurity. So you can be happy. Oh man, I swear, I had a good year. I got a job. I got money, and I thank God, and everything is good. And they saw smiles. They're like, yes, it's one. But then you start going to the next level. I'm the shit. Ain't nobody fucking with me. I'm the best thing that ever happened. I know. Now they like, hold up a second. Hold up. Now you levitating off the ground. They like, hold up a second. Hold up. Come back down to reality, my G. That's not hurting you. But if I say I'm the shit and nobody fucking with me, how is that hurting you? If somebody said that to me and I just like, word, hey man, I feel you. I say the same thing to myself. It shouldn't offend you. But if it do, that means it's pulling from you. It's pulling from you to the point that all it's leaving is low self-esteem. It's pulling from your energy, and that's not good. So your sense of presence, whether it's good, whether it's bad, that is a wonderful thing. You demand respect. You demand eyes. You demand people to listen when you talk. People automatically listen when you talk. You can be a whole 5, 6 people. When somebody telling a story, they mainly looking at you. You can see all these traits. So that's just something to look forward or look for the next time you having a large conversation with people. Even you were at an office meeting or something like that, and whoever's giving the talking points or whatever, they are looking at you, glancing back to you, but mainly looking at you. That's something there. That's something there that, A sense of presence. Okay. So the next one will be the importance of taming the beast. And that's the werewolf part. Critical contamination. Because you are containing something that if it gets out, it's going to cause destruction. But if you can tame that, bring it just to the surface enough, just to let people know that you ain't on that time. Now, some people can control that and some people can't. So just say if you in line or something, and this probably happens, guarantee you this happened to you, and it's a way to test if you have this or not. Just say if somebody in line and the person is, you talking to the person that's in front of you, right? Or a person behind you. And you see somebody that sort of got a loud mouth and just demands attention. And you can see how they just trying to wiggle their way in line. And somehow they come up to you, in between you and the person in front of you, and just trying to wiggle away. And you see them talking to the person in front of you, trying to wiggle their way in. And then all of a sudden, boom, they there. They're in front of you. Now, the good thing is to do is just to let it go. And, it ain't going to stop your shine. You're still going to get what you came to get in the line. Ain't nothing going to change. Your time it's not going to be no difference. But if that bothers you, okay, and you can't control it, let me go back. If that bothers you and you feel it bothering you, but you can't control that, you feel it, but you can also say, damn, bro, so you just don't get in front of me. Like, that is a way of taming it right there. Instead of grabbing them and throwing them out the line or body slam, whatever you want to do, just remember, don't go to jail. So something like that, if you just cool with somebody do that, you get no burning feeling in your chest. Your nose don't flare or nothing like that. Nothing of that note helps. Then that's cool too. But that's not the beast inside. That is nothing inside. That is no fire inside at all. So, but if that shit just flaming and your chest is burning and creeping and cramping and you just like, you just blurt out like, yo, my man, listen, yo, I know you just didn't cut me, man. This show is not about being violent. This show is not about anything of that nature. This show is about different things that you would notice in yourself or other people would notice in yourself. I'm just trying to put the pieces together and see if you are a werewolf. Do you have the ability to let something slide that happened to you? If your sandwich is wrong and you're a couple blocks away, you already left the drive-thru and they forgot everything except, an order. You ordered 4 of something and they forgot all 3. I say check your bag right there. I don't care what the people behind you saying or what they blowing or whatever. Check your bag, make sure you got everything. But once you get there, are you the type that go back for those 3 items or 1 item that they missed? Or you just say, I'll let it go. So we all know the person we are behind closed doors. So if you act tough, but tough all day bullying people, but when you get behind closed doors, you land on your stomach with your legs crossed, and you got your legs swinging while they cross, you know what I mean? And you watching some crazy shit on TV. That's you. The real you is not outside being tough and knocking people in their head and thug this, thug that. The real you is your legs swinging while you watching, I don't know, My Little Ponies or something like that. And you don't have no kids in the house. But anyway, so the last one is this. This is the last one. You are a straight hustler. I don't like the word hustler. I like the word go-getter. I like the old word, go-getter, old phrase. And what that means is you can make things happen, or you will make things happen. You know the value of money. To give out a certain amount of money, you have to be making a certain amount of money. It's like pouring water in a bucket with a hole at the bottom. It don't make sense. And you know this. You know the point of having assets. You understand that a 9-to-5 job is not the key to life. You can break down bill to bill and make sure you controlling all of that shit. You get up in the morning, you make that shit happen. Make sure the family got a roof over their head. And if you don't have a family, you make sure you have everything dialed in that you will always be straight and you won't be sleeping in a park or under a bridge. So that's basically it. That is just the small couple sums of when I say an American werewolf. And the reason I call this an American werewolf is because I'm talking about myself. I am an American, so I consider myself a werewolf. Now, you can be from Mexico, and you will be a Mexican werewolf. Australian werewolf. Like I said, this is for the guys that's listening and any women that feel like they have the same traits. But you know, if you meet all of these criteria that I just broke down, right? So, on that note, continue to get what you want. Continue to be arrogant. Continue to be loving. Continue to be helpful. But yo, all I'm saying, don't let shit rot.